And now we're going to hear from Nan Farley, who is the Operations Director of 350 Bay Area. Nan?
Great. Hi, good morning, everyone. Just a little bit about me before I dive into 350 Bay Area. I used to be an Ashby Village volunteer when I lived around the corner from the Berkeley Ashby Village location. And yeah, I worked with Manuela on outreach, and I also did a few assorted projects with some of the elders in the community. And I just wanted to say how much I appreciate this community, and I see so much value in it. I love how connected folks are because of this model, and I think it's really inspiring that you're all wanting to take action together as well. So yeah, that's kind of my background. I come to this work, with a desire for that intergenerational crossover, because I think there's so much that we can all learn from each other. Great, so I'll dive into a little bit more about 350 Bay Area now. I'm the operations director at 350 Bay Area. I've been here for 3 years now, and I've seen quite some growth just in these past 3 years. Kind of like what Felix was saying about some very inspiring words, how we do have some hope. And I see a lot of that because of how many people are coming to this movement continually. And how activated different ages have become. So with the emergence of 1,000 grandmothers becoming real leaders in this movement, and also with young folks like Costanza, who's actually on the 350 Bay Area mobilizing team, which is our youth-led program that Felix kind of helped create in this amazing way. So that's a little bit about the work that we do. I do have a little photo for you. So for anyone who's wondering why 350, if you know how to raise your hand, or if you have your video on, does anybody know what 350 stands for? Maybe show of hands. I see a few hands, but not a ton. Okay, nice. Linda, I love that you know. Kate, you know? Okay, so for those of you who don't know what the 350 is all about, it's the safe parts per million of CO2 that we can have in the atmosphere. And so we have surpassed that by a long shot. I think most recently I saw that we're at like 412 parts per million of CO2. So everything that we do at 350 Bay Area is aimed at eliminating carbon pollution. So we're kind of like the bottom line, get the greenhouse gases out. There are a lot of different ways that we do that. So I'm going to show you a little slide, actually. Here we are. So so we work at a local level. I love that there are all the different villages in the different regions. You can see we work in East Bay, Marin, Napa, San Francisco, and Sonoma. There is a 350 Silicon Valley if you happen to be down there and you're on the call today. And we do a bunch of different efforts to create a clean energy future with racial, economic, and environmental justice. You can see here we are out protesting, which is what a lot of these groups do. But I'd love to tell you a little bit more about specifically what 350 Bay Area does. So I love this photo because it's a long time photo, and you can see a lot of the intergenerational work, and even here is Felix. So here we are working to declare a climate emergency, I believe in the city of Berkeley a long time ago. And I think this is a great example of what we do at 350 Bay Area. As we work mainly with agencies and, in the realm of policy to create environmental policy and push for that and build political pressure around it. So a lot of what we do is in that political and educational realm and that type of organizing. Oh, great. Thanks for posting that link from Bill McKibben, Kate. Yeah, we actually, a little bit of backstory on 350 Bay Area. We were founded by people coming together around the Do the Math tour, kind of like this bottom line, what does the math say and what do we need to do to accomplish it? So that's really baked into our theory of change at 350 Bay Area, is making sure that, policy matches the science. So that's constantly what we're advocating for. We're not allowing politicians to greenwash and just say like, oh yeah, we'll do, we do have a lot of these like targeted plans for the future, right? Like all electric vehicles by 2035 in California. We were part of that push, and we're really glad that that's a law now, but like, what does that tangibly mean in the current moment. And so we work with agencies to make sure that we can make that transition. And we don't just look at those long-term targets. We try to figure out how can we meet these targets, in the next year, in the next 5 years, so that we're on track to, to be all electric in the future. So that's a little bit of the nitty gritty, and I'm excited to tell you all about how you can get involved. One other thing, I know there was a request to let you all know a little bit more about our mobilizing team, and I love that because some of Felix are here because they're so involved with it. So yeah, I'd just love to show you this photo of a protest that we did very recently. This was last month, actually just 2 weeks ago. You can see folks of all ages. We've got some retired folks over here. This is our executive director, and then some younger folks from our mobilizing team. And this is a protest at the proposed mega gas station in Novato. So we are also tracking these, ways that fossil fuel infrastructure are trying to legally get approved. So we're trying to intervene before they can even get the permit to create the gas station. Unfortunately, it was last week that went through with I believe it's the Board of Supervisors. So now we're headed on to make a comment at the city council. And I believe that's coming up. So it's a process. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. Like we've heard, it's exciting to hear about some of the wins, but it is a process, and everything we do, even if we don't, win a specific issue, is growing the public awareness around these things and also getting more people involved than ever before. Like I was saying, I think that's one of the most inspiring parts. So yeah, that's our mobilizing team. They mobilize around efforts and initiatives. And we always need folks to come out to those things and be part of that planning process. We do try to, for the actions that are led by the mobilizing team, younger folks are kind of calling the shots, but we're always looking for input and direct action planning support. So yeah, on to where do older folks, belong in 350 Bay Area. So I wanted to tell you a few stories about some of our amazing older volunteers. We're primarily retired folks, actually. So our mobilizing team was kind of this concerted effort to make sure that we're incorporating all voices in our actions. But 350 Bay Area has a history of being a lot of retired folks who almost work full time at 350 Bay Area. It's really inspiring. So this is Richard right here. He's part of 350 Marin and leads our grants team. So he's, great at research and writing, always creatively thinking about new avenues for funding. And in a way, I think the grants team is a great example of how this work can be fun, because it's almost become like a social club. We look forward to seeing each other on the call every week and getting creative. We come with our new ideas and our updates. So yeah, it's a really fun way of being social and also organizing. And yeah, there's a lot of different realm for different interests and skills that you may have. So that's just one team, kind of more of an internal team. And more of an external team. This is Ken right here, who's also part of 350 Marin and 350 Bay Area, of course. He's got the shirt on. And Ken leads our clean energy work and our clean air work. So Ken is really digging in with some of the reports from the Bay Area Air Quality Management District and looking at what are their plans? Do they need additional support to make these plans happen? Should we be pressuring them? Are there meetings we can attend that they'll be talking about particulate matter regulation? So that's kind of more on the external regulatory side that Ken's organizing. And obviously he's not doing that alone. If you're really wanted to become an expert in this stuff, you can be like Ken, but you can also just come to those meetings and have those talking points that the clean air team comes up with already. These are the ways that, we need to have clean air because it's giving asthma to our community, as we've already heard, all of the different health effects. So you don't have to be an expert to be on the team. That's why they exist, to help make just everyday people experts on these issues.
Thank you, Nan.